In the heart of the idyllic community of Maplewood, where the streets were lined with manicured lawns and the air hummed with the serenity of suburban life, the Peterson family was the epitome of success and happiness, or so it appeared. John Peterson, a prominent figure in the banking world, was known for his impeccable business acumen and his seemingly perfect family life. With his loving wife Sarah by his side, their life seemed to be a picture of contentment, filled with neighborhood barbecues and weekends at the local country club. But beneath the surface of this tranquil existence, a storm was brewing. On a chilly morning in February, the Peterson household was thrown into chaos. John was found unresponsive in his study, an apparent victim of a heart attack at the age of 47. The news of his sudden and tragic death sent shockwaves through the community, leaving neighbors and friends grappling with disbelief and sorrow. Sarah Peterson was inconsolable, her grief palpable as she recounted the events leading to her husband's death. She described hearing a loud thud, rushing to find her husband collapsed and frantically dialing 911. To the outside observer, it seemed like a straightforward case of a natural death until the coroner's report came in. Investigators from the Maplewood Police Department, led by Detective Laura Martinez, began their routine inspection, initially treating the case as a heart-related fatality. But as they pored over the details, a slew of inconsistencies began to emerge. The coroner's report noted the presence of a substance called succinylcholine in John's system, a drug that induces paralysis and can simulate the effects of a heart attack. Except this drug was not part of any prescription John had been given. Detective Martinez's team widened their search, and what they found changed the trajectory of the investigation. 6 months before John's untimely death, Sarah had taken out a substantial life insurance policy on him, valued at over $2 million. A policy that seemed excessive for a man in the peak of health with no history of heart problems. The financial records revealed further cracks in the Petersons' seemingly solid facade. It was discovered that John's banking empire wasn't as stable as it appeared, and he had been quietly funneling money into high-risk ventures that were quickly depleting the family fortune. This raised a critical question. Had Sarah discovered these financial woes and decided to cash out before the house of the cards collapsed? The revelations painted a starkly different picture of Sarah, a woman not overtaken by grief, but perhaps by a carefully calculated plan. Friends and relatives were interviewed, and whispers of marital strife and financial desperation added fuel to the fire. Sarah's alibi began to unravel, and soon she was entangled in a web of circumstantial evidence. With each passing day, the portrait of a perfect suburban life crumbled further, leaving behind a tale of deceit, greed, and ultimately murder. The heart attack that claimed John Peterson's life was anything but natural, and the truth behind Maplewood's genteel veneer was far darker than anyone could have imagined. In the quiet town of Greenfield, life moved at a gentle pace, the kind found where everyone knows their neighbor, and secrets rarely stay hidden for long. But in the winter of 2022, a chilling discovery threatened the town's serene facade. John Miller, a beloved local business owner, was found dead in his home under mysterious circumstances. It seemed like a tragic, yet natural heart attack at first glance, but soon investigators would uncover a much darker truth lurking beneath the surface. Detectives had their suspicions from the start. The scene felt off. Too pristine, too perfect. As they delved deeper into the case, they began to unravel an intricate web of deceit and desperation intricately woven by none other than John's wife, Sarah. Sarah Miller had been a fixture in Greenfield's social circles, known for her charm and active involvement in community events. But behind the smiles and cheerful demeanor was a woman grappling with mounting financial pressures. Detectives uncovered that Sarah was drowning in debt, primarily due to a failing boutique she had desperately tried to keep afloat. She had hidden this financial turmoil from John, maintaining the illusion of success to uphold her social standing. Interviews with those who knew the Millers revealed troubling insights. Friends noticed a growing tension between the couple, marked by hushed arguments and veiled unhappiness that Sarah could no longer mask. Their marriage, once seemingly solid, was now clearly under significant strain. As financial woes mounted, so did Sarah's desperation to sustain their comfortable lifestyle. The investigation took a significant turn when detectives stumbled upon a life insurance policy taken out on John, worth a staggering $1 million. This policy, unbeknownst to him, had been recently increased. For Sarah, this policy seemed less like routine financial security and more like a lifeline, a potential escape from her burgeoning monetary woes. The key to solving this intricate puzzle was hidden within John's toxicology report. It revealed traces of a potent poison, one that would have caused his symptoms and ultimate demise. This was no accident, it was murder. As detectives pieced together the evidence, the chilling story came into focus. The financial records, the key life insurance policy, and the toxicology report all pointed to one individual, Sarah. With means, motive, and opportunity aligned, Sarah Miller emerged as the orchestrator of a calculated murder plot. On a crisp February morning, Sarah was arrested. Her plans of financial salvation collapsed as the grim reality of her actions caught up with her. Her trial was the talk of Greenfield, with the courtroom packed with townsfolk grappling to reconcile the woman they thought they knew with the cold-blooded killer she had become. In the end, justice prevailed. Sarah was convicted of the premeditated murder of her husband, John, a tragic victim of a scheme fueled by desperation and greed. The sentence brought a semblance of closure, yet the shadow of her betrayal lingered long after the gavel fell, leaving a once peaceful community forever changed. In a quiet suburban neighborhood where white picket fences lined neatly manicured lawns, the home of Sarah and Tom Jefferson seemed unremarkable, the picture of domestic bliss. But behind closed doors, a sinister plot was brewing, one that would unravel in a series of tragic and unexpected events. On a crisp autumn morning, the courtroom was packed to the rafters, the public eager to witness the unraveling of a case that had captivated the ER. The prosecution was ready, armed with a narrative as compelling as any thriller. They painted Sarah Jefferson not as a devoted wife, but as a cold and calculating orchestrator of murder, determined to solve her financial woes by the most heinous means imaginable. Tom Jefferson was a well-liked neighbor, a successful businessman, but unbeknownst to many, his financial empire was eroding, leaving the couple under a mountain of debt. Sarah saw only one way out: Tom's life insurance policy, a policy worth $2 million. The prosecution laid out the chilling details of Sarah's plan, layer by incriminating layer. It started with the calculated manipulation of their struggling finances, leading to whispered conversations with dubious characters who could help execute her scheme. As the evidence unfolded, it became apparent that Sarah had left no room for error. Witnesses were called, evidence meticulously examined, emails were retrieved, phone records dissected, revealing a web of deceit spun with precision. The jury sat rapt, absorbing the gravity of Sarah's betrayal. Sarah, who had calmly watched the proceedings, remained expressionless, her demeanor a stark contrast to the horror she was accused of orchestrating. The final blow to Sarah's defense came when the prosecution revealed surveillance footage of Sarah purchasing a lethal substance, the same substance found in Tom's system post-mortem. It was the damning piece of evidence that completed the puzzle, leaving no doubt about Sarah's intentions. After hours of tense deliberation, the jury returned their verdict, guilty of first-degree murder. The weight of those words hung in the air, a testament to the irreversible decisions driven by an insatiable greed. Sarah Jefferson was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, a lifetime to ponder the cost of her actions. In the aftermath, the community grappled with the shocking reality that behind the Jeffersons' perfect facade lurked unfathomable treachery. This case served as a stark reminder of how greed can blind, corrupt, and ultimately destroy. Sarah's story was a chilling testament to the lengths some will go to fulfill their darkest desires. As the courtroom emptied, echoes of the trial lingered, a haunting reminder of a life and love lost forever to a greed-driven deception of unimaginable depths.